got Alan Watt with us for the rest of the hour. I've got a lot of news items I want to throw out at him, but also want to open the phones up starting in the next segment. Any issue, any item you'd like to ask Alan Watt or myself. Again, I'm Alex Jones, your host. The websites are prisonplanet.tv, jonesreport.com, infowars.com, and many, many others, the obamadeception.net. Alan, continue in this segment getting into their master plan, but also from your perspective and research, why they're accelerating their program so much. Because according to a lot of their documents and statements, they plan on having the world tax, world government, world regulation in by stealth by 2000. By most yardsticks, they're about 4 to 5 years behind. But overall, they are very optimistic that their new world order is now forming. How does the swine flu tie in? Obviously, a federalization, internationalization grid. The UN is now bragging that under level 6, it's been the entire time commanding the entire structure. They're now saying forced inoculations are coming on every news channel. It's for your own good. Training us, we've got to be locked down. Brigade Homeland. Northcom's got to keep you safe. Oh, foreign troops in FEMA National Level Exercise 2009. They're preparing, working with our military to, quote, deal with American terrorists. This is from FEMA's own website. So right now it looks like they're accelerating the change. As Lenin said, there are times in history when more happens in a month than happened in the previous 100 years, to paraphrase. So clearly we're entering a jump point. Are we in the major flux point, the flash point, the jump point of change, or is this acceleration of change just a prelude to a bigger cataclysm of massive change coming in the future? And when is that date from your deep research, Alan Watt?
Yeah, we're going through the preparation for it now. Since 2001, I always look back and I say, my God, look how many crises and fake crises and false crises we've had since 2001. We've had the environment hit us at the same time. Oh, my God, the climate change, global warming, and taxes for all of that at the same time.
And the terrorists.
Terrorists, they're just everywhere, like the movie Brazil. No one ever finds them, but they're supposedly all over the place. And then the coming pandemics and plagues at the same time. And then the banking crash. They gave us a banking crash just to make sure that we got the message. And then they bail out the banks. And at the same time, they've just come out and said they're going to give billions of dollars to third world countries to help their environment and so on. I mean, this is impossible. If this was spread over a 20-year period, with every single event, we'd have time to think and talk and say, I don't quite grab this, it smells wrong. But once they get the people in a stampeding mode, and that's the training of it, we're being stampeded into simply being scared and obey authority, then they can speed it up. In fact, they must speed it up and give us one incredible scenario after another.
In fact, that whole flu drill was a preparation for a real release in the future, is what I said, clearly. And then they actually came out and said that. Oh, we use this as a drill.
That's
it's
right.
Coming this fall or next, and it's going to kill a whole bunch of you. We guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
And so will it be a release flu that kills the people, or is it going to be those inoculations as they inject people and they get sick and die in front of everyone? We know the Gardasil and the factor rate and all the other soft kill murder operations are beta test of their killing systems, but also beta testing the response and turning everybody dying of cancer and diabetes into a cause celeb and balls and everyone wearing ribbons and, oh, your hair is falling out. You know, the movie stars, they're all dying too. It's so cool. We're part of it. We get attention. Again, they just put everything into a process.
It's all processes. It's techniques, actually. And the thing with depopulation, as you say, is we're all in it together. In a war scenario, that's a common slogan you see plastered everywhere. We're all in it together to get us all working along the same path. We all suffer together. We all die together. And what you've got also at the same time is the cult of celebrity, because the celebrity is really part of culture creation and manipulation. Everything comes from the top, and what the stars say. In fact, the stars override even the scientists. If you get a famous star to come out and talk about the environment, the people will just gobble it up and think it's true. So we're managed in a scientific manner perfectly.
But the elite don't have total control because 37,000 top scientists send a detailed paper and a signed petition, but it gets almost zero news coverage, and Al Gore laughs and says they're all conspiracy theorists that think we didn't land on the moon.
That's right. And we must remember, too, he's an ominous thing that people don't generally think about, because we're trained to believe, and we have been deliberately trained to believe that the medical profession is just there to help you. When you go into the history of the big factories, the big corporations that create vaccines, you will find that they are part of the military-industrial complex. They're on the cutting edge of dealing with killer viruses and killer bacterium, which is part of biowarfare.
They all come out of Cold Springs Harbor and the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute and the big medical facilities in England, and you'll see the founding directors and then their sons and everybody else are all public eugenicists. It's like the IBM Human Genome run from Cold Springs Harbor last year. The director comes out and says blacks aren't humans, basically kill them, and I'd already put him in Endgame saying he was one of the top technicians coming up with the eugenics op. And I mean, but the big secret is a lot of racists go, good, kill the blacks. What those stupid racists don't understand is the elites are really trying to target Northern Europeans, and these are Northern Europeans themselves involved in a lot of this because they see Northern Europeans as their potential competition.
Yes, because out of Northern Europeans, they've always had antagonism, they've always had rebellions, you see, and there's more individuality by nature. It's inherently in the Northern European. We're not a collective society as such. We're not like China, a history of collectivism. Therefore, in fact, the United Nations has said, and the League of Nations before it said the same thing, their enemy to world order was individualism. Individualism would have to be eradicated. But getting back to the laboratories, you look at Baxter Laboratories. Now, Baxter Laboratories, we've got to remember, was paid by government. They're combined with biowarfare departments. They were paid during World War II to come up with different bacterial and viral warfare ingredients, etc. But they were also part of IG Farben that created the Nazi war machine. They've always been involved in this kind of thing. You cannot be involved in dealing with viruses purely to kill them off. The military is always in hand in glove with you, or hand in hand with you, because you're on the cutting edge of evolving these viruses into killers as well. They're so advanced, they can give you a shot for whatever they tell you it is. You'll never know what it is. The guy who gives you the shot can't analyze it. It's all based on faith. And they can give you a booster down the road that triggers off the first shot, and down you go. That's how perfect they have biowarfare.
Yeah, that's called a binary weapon. They actually wrote papers on that. And as you properly said, even Dr. Salk bragged about it. When they give you, say, an SV40 cancer that's been engineered, it's designed that at a certain hormone fluctuation in the body, it triggers and then starts the replication attacks in the human body.
That's right. If your testosterone starts dropping in 30s, well, bang, you're down with a cancer at 35.
Nah, it's good, though. And now we have people at 20 getting their Alzheimer's. It's normal.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
It's beautiful, Alan. Something beautiful's about to happen, like they say in 2001.
That's right.
It's
something
beautiful.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Something wonderful. Oh.
But that's how it is. And we've got to understand, as I say, these big international corporations and laboratories are all part of a military-industrial complex. A book was written after World War II. Actually, it was written about the 1990s, by a Toronto Star reporter who got hold of lots of declassified information from the Canadian, U.S., and British governments that all worked together. The book is called Deadly Allies, Canada's Secret War. And those guys, during World War II, and Canada led the field, they could get a virus, a common virus, turn it into a killer within about an hour in what they call the fast breeder. They were so far advanced in World War II. And guess who was all on board working with them? The same big pharma companies that deal with making your inoculations.
And all run by eugenicists on record. But, Alan, shouldn't we just trust them?
That's it. That's the double think that folk get into. They've got all this propaganda on television, mainly through fiction, television series on
Yeah, where the backwards kook, racist, scum, child molester doesn't want to take the shot. Every TV show, every drama. But then the women always figure out on the show, and they make sure the kids get it, and then the kids' lives are saved.
That's right.
They know best. And that's why they're going to take the Gardasil. They're going to show you, Alan. They're not going to listen to you. No, they're with the government. Oh, ha, ha, ha.
So that's the key to it. As you say yourself, the statistics are out there. We are being sterilized. We've been getting sterilized for an awful long time. We know some of the various culprits that were deliberately put in our food, the bisphenol A and all the rest of it. They even classified melamine, which is a plastic product, as a protein. This is through the FDA for baby food, because there's one little part of its molecule in a certain chain could be recognized, could be, with a lot of money helping it along.
Exactly. They admitted it attacks all organs, causes kidney failure, causes cancer, was always listed as deadly. Now they came out last year and said, you know what? Melamine's actually good for your child. Just like they nationwide say mercury's now nutritious, Alan.
Yeah.